If you've been a listener of the podcast, I'm a big fan of the book called Run Frictionless. I use that heavily in this part of the framework. When I talk alignment, it's really around your company, your customer, and your offering. And if you don't have those in alignment, you're creating friction within your business. And Anthony, you'll appreciate that. And you'll have to work twice as hard to get new customers in. And I think if we're targeting the folks that have successfully sold within their network, do have some revenue, do have some customers, this will be a little bit easier of an exercise. I think it's critical for businesses of all stages to go through this process. So one is, hey, who are you going after? What is the problem you're solving for those folks? Two is, does your offer solve that? And it has to be in sync with solving that problem with your customer, or it's just going to be a mismatch. It's going to be harder to sell, harder to get people on board. But I think the third piece of this that gets overlooked quite a bit, and we've started talking about it, is the company alignment. Why are you in business? What is your mission? It doesn't have to be noble that you're saving the world, but you've got to be passionate about solving the problem that you're going after, that you've decided to start a business for. And like I said, to go through those three different aspects. So the customer that you're going after, the offering that you have, and then ultimately the company's why need to be in alignment. Or again, you're going to create a lot of undue friction. And to me, this is the area you need to spend the most amount of time on, because if you can't get this right, you're going to have real trouble with your messaging and positioning. It's not going to resonate with customers. How do you get folks online and offline to come to you for your solution? So like I said, A is for alignment, and it's really don't go past go unless you can get this aligned, for lack of a better term, or synced across your business. Again, the sooner you're able to do this in your journey, the easier it is going to be to sell. So let's assume now that you do have alignment, you know your target customer, you know your offers aligned with what those customers are looking for, and your company mission is tied to that. Part two of this becomes the execution. So we've got that, which is great, but now how do I go connect with prospects that don't know me? And that's where the C comes in, which is connect. So how am I going to connect with prospects and get them through my funnel? Because if we don't have customers, we're not going to get to the 10 million. So the critical component to this, again, is to have a plan. So figure out where your customers are, where they're buying from. And I'm going to tell you right now, there's different strategies and tactics. You can go from paid ads, you can go from channel partners or strategic partners. But the number one must have, no longer optional, is content. And it's critical, because even if you have a conversation with the company, the first thing that they're going to do is go to your website or your social channels and see if that's in alignment with what you just said and how you solve those problems. So content is no longer optional. It has to provide value. It needs to address the customer's questions. And the sooner that you do that, the better off you will be in the long run. And too often we get caught up in the short-term transactional, and you just can't win that game. You may get lucky in some cases, but for the most part, the vast majority of the businesses, you need to set it up for a longer haul. And I'll tell you why, because, Demand Gen recently published a stat, or maybe it's not too recent, but at any given point, only 3% of your target audience is in buy now mode. So 3% of what your target market is actively in the market looking to purchase, which means when they engage with you or find you, they're not in buy now mode. So the key and the critical aspect of the connect is setting that up for future conversion. You're educating, you're creating the awareness, you're adding value. So when that customer is ready and moves to the buy now mode, you're the first person that they think of. So the content is, like I said, no longer optional.